So what is up, Africana fam? It's your girl Young Africana back at it again with another video. Today is day 5 of the Nicki Minaj series, and I did her second Trollz wig, y'all. Y'all was pretty shook on Instagram when I popped up with the 2-in-1. But if you are feeling this look so far, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and spam the comment section with some rainbow emojis. But if you want to see how I achieved this color, hair, and makeup, then keep on watching. Alright, so like I've always said, during this entire series, this hair is sponsored from me. This is my 613, my HD 613 frontal wig, y'all. I made it into a wig. I have like 28-inch bundles, so yeah, it's pretty long. So right now I'm cutting out my ear tabs just so I could have the wig nice and snug to my head. And now I'm going to go ahead and carve out a middle part. We're going for a middle part, and I'm using this just so I could kind of like, shape out how I'm going to dye the hair. And I'm using my hot comb just to press it out, make sure that's nice and straight. So what I'm doing right now is I'm separating my frontal piece from the tracks. And for the tracks part, I have about 5 sections in the back, and then 2 on each side of the middle part for the frontal section. Hopefully that made sense and I'm making sense. But yeah, as y'all can see, these are my sections that I have. Altogether, I have about 7 sections, 2 in the frontal, 5 in the back. So right now what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and dye my hair. And I'm starting off with the frontal section, and I'm going in with this pink color, and I'm using the Kiss Tintation Salmon mixed with pink Petal. And I use about like a half a bottle each, and I'm using warm water and a bucket of water. And y'all, I'm telling y'all, I'm working smarter, not harder with this, y'all. I was thinking about hand painting this, but I'm like, no. And I actually like the gradient or like the ombre that a watercolor gives anyway. So I went ahead and did this, and it worked out perfectly fine. Working smarter, not hard, okay? But right now I'm gonna go in with Cyan from the Kiss Tintation. I'm just going to go ahead and just, keep on dyeing. I'm going to leave all the specs on what colors I use in order from, front to back, just so you guys get the gist of what I used. And as you can see, I'm just doing the same exact process. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're combing the hair as well too, just so that you have a nice gradient and it's not too harsh. You also want to make sure that every hair strand is covered. And you guys, please have a bucket underneath you. I have a bucket right there, so when the hair drips and stuff is dripping inside the bucket below me. So please have a bucket if you are doing this method. And overall, this is how it looks. And I just went ahead and just rinsed it out and let it air dry. All right, so now on to the hair, y'all. The hair is really nice and air dried. I'm gonna go ahead and cut out a horizontal piece in the back, just so I could, cover up the tracks in the back. And I'm using my Care wax stick just to press it down, and I'm using my hot comb. But now onto the crimping. I learned this technique from my friend Slave by Jordan. Y'all already know. Go ahead and check out his channel if y'all have not. But yeah, so I learned this technique of crimping from him, where I use like the hairspray in the front and the back and then comb it out. And y'all, when I tell you these crimps did not move, it did not move. And I'm using my crimper from Bedhead. I forgot exactly what style, but it's just, the 3-barrel crimper. So I'm just going to go ahead and use that. I'm just going to crimp around the entire hair. And again, I use my Got To Be Free spray as my hairspray to spray in the front and the back and then comb it out. And then, you're going to go ahead and crimp. And you want to make sure that you crimp like every, so like you're going to crimp at your last crimp that you ended on. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, it was easier when Jordan explained it, but yeah. But this method of crimping, it changed my whole crimp game for the better, y'all. Like, my crimps looked immaculate after I did it, y'all. And this is how my crimps are looking, y'all. But onto the makeup, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my Warrior 2 palette in the color Kufuru, and then I'm going to use Yodit as my transition color. I'm just going to go back and forth, blend it in, and now I'm going to go in with my P.Louise base in the color Rumor 1, and then I'll be going into my Warrior palette in the color Ahosi as my lid color. And I'm just kind of zooming past this because I've done this plenty of times on my channel. But yeah, I'm now going to go into my eyeliner, and I'm using my Essence eyeliner in the color Matte Black. And now onto foundation, I'll be using my Lancome Tintation in the color 555 mixed with my Huda Beauty Faux filter in the color Lava Cake. And I'm just using my Instapot brush just to, you know, buff that into my skin. Now for concealer, I'm using my Juvia's Place concealer in the color J8, and I'm just highlighting wherever I want to highlight at. So it's going to be underneath my eyes, my nose, my mustache, and also my chin, as well as my forehead a bit. Now I'm just using my small foundation brush from Morphe, and I'm just going to buff out the edges of the concealer just so my foundation and my concealer can marry each other. But now I'll be using my Ulta Foundation Precision brush just to blend out my concealer underneath my eyes and everywhere else. And I just like to touch the eyes last. Now for contour, I went ahead and used my Juvia's Place contour stick, or my foundation stick, in the color Congo, and I'm just going to blend that out. And for powder, I'm using my Minaj powder in the color Chestnut, and I'm just going to apply that wherever I highlighted at. You just want to press that in with a damp beauty blender. Now to set my contour, I'm going to go ahead and use my Juvia's Place bronzer palette in the color Deep Dark, and I'm using the darkest color. And what I like to do is I like to connect my eyeshadow with my nose contour. I don't know, it just gives it like a more model-esque type look, and overall just makes it look a lot cleaner. So I just went in with my I believe Kufuru, and I just kind of, you know, married the two between like my nose contour and, you know, the eyeshadow. I'm just applying that around my face just to give myself a nice look. And now I'll be using my foundation brush just to remove any of the excess powder I have on my face. But onto bronzer, I'll be using my Fenty Beauty in the color Mocha Mami. This is their bronzer, and I like to apply that on the apples of my cheeks as well as my nose. And now I'm just going to go ahead and set my face, and we're pretty much done. I'm going to apply everything else in regards of like eyelashes a little bit later because I'm going to go ahead and install my hair. But I did go in with my Morphe setting spray, both the mattifying one and the continuous one. And I'm just going to pat that in. But now onto the install, y'all. I went ahead and cut in some slits, and we're going to roll that wig back. You want to make sure that it's placed exactly where you want it to be before you roll it back. And on for glue, I'll be using my Erica J Hold Me Down adhesive. And I'm only using 2 layers. And I'm using my rat tail comb, the metal part, just to kind of smear out the glue. And you want to make sure that each layer dries completely clear before you apply the other one. 2 layers personally is more than enough for me because I'm only wearing this for the purpose of the video and I'm never going to wear it again. But yeah, and if you guys also want to stay tuned, I always sell my wigs and stuff whenever I'm done with them. So stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram at Young Africana. And I usually have wig sales like on my story and stuff, you know. US only, unfortunately. I'm sorry. But yeah. But now that the second layer had dried, I'm going to go ahead and just, you know, place my wig in front of the glue. And you want to make sure that you just place it in front of the glue. And I just like to use my hand just to kind of press it in just to make sure it's nice and secure. Alright, but now on to cutting the lace. I'll be using my eyebrow razor, and I'm going to cut as close to the lace as possible, y'all. And I just like this method of like, especially when I'm not doing any baby hairs, of applying the wig after I'm done with my makeup. You know, especially if I'm just wearing the wig for one day, just because I just feel like it just gives a flawless look and it's super clean. But I'm now going to go ahead and lift up my lace just to see if I'm missing any spots. And I'm just going to apply 2 layers of glue again and then use my comb just to brush it down. And I did forget to mention, I did tint my lace with the Amasleo Bay smeared lace tint in the color Mocha, and I did 2 layers. Now I'm going into my spread spray, and it's a super hold hairspray. And I'm gonna use my my cotton swab just to apply it on my swab, and use that to just press that into my lace because it gets a bit messy, so I didn't want it to get all over my makeup and stuff, so I just sprayed it on the swab and then press it into my lace. And then I'm going to use my elastic band, and I'm going to let that sit for about 15 minutes, and then we're just going to take it off. Now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and start hot combing my hair back a bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and just start parting where my two pigtails are gonna be at. And then I'm also going to take out some baby hairs and then use my hot comb just to press it down so I could train it downwards. And I'm just using a regular scrunchie to just hold the ponytail. I'm going to have a bunch of bubbles to cover that up, so do not worry about it. But usually the smaller the scrunchie, the better it is for you, just so that it's less visible. So now I'm going to go in and start putting my bobos on, y'all. I was struggling. And y'all do not want to know the struggle I had to do to find these exact type of bobos, y'all, that Nicki had. There was nowhere inside the beauty supply store. And y'all don't even want to know how much I paid for the bobos. I paid like $80 for these dang bobos, y'all. But nevertheless, I got it from England. It was cool. Yeah. And I went ahead and just made like, those friendship charm bracelets. I DIY that. I just got a kit from Target. And yeah, we just gonna place it around, have fun with it, and this is how it looks. But all right, y'all, so the frontal piece wasn't crimped, so now that everything is on, and I didn't want to disturb the curls, I'm gonna go in with my Gotta Be Free spray. Again, spray it on your hair and then comb it out, and then we're gonna crimp that bad boy and also the ponytail as well. And now for the baby hairs, I'm going to go ahead and use my eyebrow razor just to cut my baby hairs. You want to make sure that you kind of cut it a little bit long and then cut it shorter, just because I'm going to curl it and stuff. So I'm using my bed head small, I forgot what size this flat iron is, but yeah. And I'm going to go in with some spritz and my baby hair comb, and I'm just going to train the baby hairs, y'all. And I did eventually end up cutting the baby hair just a bit shorter because it was a bit long. And overall, these are the finished results. I hope you guys enjoyed day 5. Tomorrow is the season finale. I'm so sad we're ending this. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, spam that like button on this video and comment some rainbow emojis if y'all are feeling this look. And tag Nicki in all my posts on IG. But I'll catch you guys at the season finale. Later.